name is Stacy Hargis, and I'm an assistant professor here at Middlesex Community College. I also am the entrepreneurship coordinator. So I run the entrepreneurship program where we have an entrepreneurship certificate that someone can either earn independently on its own, and it's 16 credits, so it could be earned in a semester. Or many students actually earn the certificate on top of an associate's. And this is an interdisciplinary certificate, so it can be for business administration students or STEM students. It's really across the board for everyone. And one thing in particular I'm always sort of interested in is the creative economy. So helping artists and helping musicians and writers and all those people figure out how to see themselves more as a business on top of their beautiful art and craft is something that I'm also very much interested in.
How did the class help our journey? I think, I will say it personally for me, and then I think everybody kind of shares the same sentiment.
It showed us like the whole business aspect of a business, because we all knew like, oh, they have a business, but it showed us everything like behind the scenes and what we have to do to create a business and how to make a business work correctly.
For about 7 weeks we had content, and for the next 7 or so weeks we actually come up with a team. And
it was more like who you are, you know, what do you know and who do you know, and how you could creatively solve problems in each step of the way.
It showed us not just the whole process, but also gave us a little bit of a reality check with the headaches of what it would actually be like to create a business.
And to add, I mean, the one thing that we really got from is the process. Helping define the process and be able to use it in a safe environment, to be able to practice some of the things that we need to do, stumble through some of the things and figure out how to work through those, which is actually the greatest thing in a safe environment.
So for me, in designing the course, it was really important that students actually got to practice these concepts and theories that they were learning, to give them a safe space that they could actually attempt things without a whole lot of loss. I myself learn by doing, and I think a lot of people do that. So I wanted to be able to provide them a real opportunity to practice and to make immediate adjustments and know that there was an end point that they would be working towards.
You know, the articles, the essays we had to do, the listening to speeches, those TED Talks, I think personally helped me understand what an entrepreneur is, and I think it helped us as a team understand that the number one thing is being creative, but also communicating.
Because that way we can get the most people aware about what we sell and aware about the problem that they may have themselves but are not realizing it.
And we saw other people's ideas, so that helped us to develop ideas like with the commercial, in the length of the commercial, in the background noise and things like that.
Which is something I personally failed a little bit at, but because we were a strong team through Ms. Hargis, we were able to overcome a lot of our weaknesses, I guess.
I will have the time, so you'll see a 1 minute, you'll see 30 seconds, you'll see 20 seconds, and you'll see end. You want to keep it within 2 minutes. 2 minutes, right? So I'll be right there, so you just want to kind of pay attention to that. We have our 2 wonderful judges here, back again. First we have Lydia Blanchard, who I just also want to say is in the middle of the busiest time of year for her. She owns Sweet Lydia's, which is the homemade confections, marshmallows, s'mores, all sorts of delicious things right here in downtown Lowell. She also has a shop in Boston. And it is the busiest time of year for her. She literally, I'm going to share this with everyone, I hope you don't mind. She has been working so hard that she didn't get to sleep until 12 o'clock last night, was in the kitchen all night, woke up at 3 o'clock to go to the kitchen this morning, and then is taking a little time out to come and be with us today. So I'm super appreciative that she is here doing that. So thank you so much. Thank you. We also have Angela Mastro-Giacomo, who is an MCC alum. She's started the PR firm that is specific to the music industry. So she represents a ton of different bands, and she graciously came down to stay with us for the day. So thank you very much, Angela. I also wanted just take a moment to thank the division. So we are in the Business, Public Service, and Education division. So I want to thank the dean who helped support some funding to do some of the activities and provide the food today, as well as student activities. So I want to thank them. I also want to take a moment to thank LTC for coming. Thank you very much. They're going to be here videotaping. Don't worry, they won't be playing it live or anything, so that's good.
We are labeled. We sell braces, laces, and lanyards. And the way our business plan kind of came up is we decided to create accessories, right? That would raise love and raise awareness for different charities at first, but we ended up as a team kind of deciding on a charity that's near and dear to our hearts, because Tom here is a veteran, and we decided veterans need that awareness because of the great service they do to our country. So we said, hey, let's do these braces, these laces, and these lanyards to promote awareness for veterans, because that means a lot to us. So we essentially got together and decided there's no better way to do it than to kind of just get these accessories out there. We did a lot of direct sales. We initially, through Ms. Hargis, she said do Shopify, but we realized that wasn't going to be the best way for the product we were selling. So we went actually kind of door to door, families, friends, and we did a lot of like team building exercises where we sold together. And to get back to the actual question, the business plan question, our purpose was to raise awareness and raise as much money as we could for the disabled veterans of Tewksbury.
I'm Tom Whalen from Tom and Brian Hats. And this is Brian. And at the start of this project, we decided to start selling hats because we identified an opportunity in our local community that in the winter season, it becomes a trend. The first 5 minutes of class, everyone's complaining about how cold it is getting there, as well as the problems our community faces. So we decided that we would start selling hats under the premise that for every hat we sold, we would donate one to a local charity or to a local person in our community. In our project duration, we realized that the one thing in New England that everyone has 10 of is winter hats. So we only sold 10 hats. I also think our other problem is we didn't have enough product recognition, but we're looking into improving the product in the future by giving product recognition that will identify that this person donated to help their community and as well help donate to charity as well.
Yeah, and for our exit plan, we do not really plan to continue much longer. It's already winter and everyone already has their hats. But we do have someone in mind that wants to purchase the hats and take it as their own business. So we're gonna give them the rest of the hats and close down the Shopify and Facebook and let them do their own thing and any changes that they want to do.
And we went to our local homeless shelter on Jackson Street, Lowell, to donate the hats. for our goal. Here at Tom and Brian Hats, we believe in community values and social responsibility. And for every hat that we sell, we will be donating one to a local shelter in the Lowell area. Thank you. Thank you for your donation. We really appreciate it.
Are you too tired in class because you didn't get enough sleep the night before, you didn't have your morning coffee yet, or you just need another cup? Well, then coffee is exactly the right thing for you. Our Hot Healthy Coffee gives you the energy boost you need while also having hot healthy breakfast.
So what we did is we took the all-natural antioxidant from the skin of a grape and we infused it with fair trade, 100% Arabica Colombian coffee beans. So now every time you have a 6-ounce glass of coffee, it's the same benefits as having a 6-ounce glass of red wine without the alcohol, of course.
So Jack here, myself, Kristen, and Pat and I all had different mindsets and personalities. With all of these ideas combined, we were able to work as a great team. We all knew that coffee was the main source that will kind of energize a person's, I guess, energy? I don't know. But with all our thoughtful minds combined, we were able to succeed successfully with our profits and our sales.
And as a testament to just how much people liked our coffee, we were able to sell over 10 cups for every hour that we were selling. So we had 8 selling hours, sold 91 cups in total for $2 each. And as a result of that, we are proud to announce that we're able to donate over $180 to Lowell General's Team Walk for Cancer this year, which is a great cause that we very much believe in. Even though we're no longer going to have the coffee stands up, again, our coffee was met with great reviews, as you're about to see, and anybody who's interested in purchasing bags or K-Cups can log on to VeraRoasting.com. Thank you.
Yummy! So the course is actually designed so that it is half the time is content and then half the time is actually working on their project. They work in teams, and so part of the activities we do leading up to them working on this project is learning about how people work, learning the different styles, understanding that a good team has several different kinds of personalities on it. As they start to form as teams, we try to make sure that there's all the different personalities represented. Then they actually sort of work out the details in terms of what role everybody will play. The key, I think, for this kind of project is making sure the students understand that as a team they're responsible to each other, and so they actually design a charter in the beginning that they say how they'll communicate, what happens if they disagree, what the timeline for the project will be, and together they're making that charter so that they're all in agreement and understand what to expect for the semester. And forming this charter is really useful because it helps bond them, and then as situations happen where maybe one team member maybe isn't pulling their weight, it's always referring back to the charter. Well, what did you guys originally agree on?
Okay, so for our business plan, the way we kind of started everything off, we had 4 people in our group, and there was a girl named Alexis in our group who actually thought of the idea, and the point of the project was to come up with a couple other people in the group who have different strengths and weaknesses to work together to create a good idea and make it work well. And the way we came up with it is we knew that we liked iPhone chargers and stuff like that, and she had experience with soldering, so she kind of had an idea to put like a thermoplastic around the charger. And from there we knew that there was a problem because personally we have chargers that are broken and are like exposed wiring and everything, so we thought it would be a great idea to actually implement it into our business and sell it.
So, Gabby, I heard your charger broke.
Yeah, just a little.
Well, with Secure Shrink, that's made with thermoplastic on it, it prevents it from ripping like that.
Oh wow, thanks. How much does it cost?
1 for $5 or 2 for $7.
Oh wow, thanks so much.
So we are Bands and Shades. I'm Kyle, this is Sway, this is Mike, and this is Max.
So we created sunglasses and wristbands. Sunglasses were a primary idea because one day I was in my car and it was really glary out, and I reached down for my sunglasses and they weren't there. And I was just like, man, I wish I had like a cheap pair of sunglasses I could just throw in my console. So we developed some cheap sunglasses that said Bands and Shades, and we also made some wristbands to go along with it.
So, like Mike said, we decided we wanted to make something that you could accessorize without breaking the bank. So we made the wristbands, and then the sunglasses were just so you could keep a pair of sunglasses, because we always feel as though everyone has just like a cheap pair of sunglasses, like $10 sunglasses in their cars, just in case, because you never know. One day it might be cloudy and you don't bring your sunglasses, and then you walk out of class and it's sunny and you're screwed. So.
Yeah, so like all of us kind of have the experience that when we are driving with no sunglasses in a sunny day, so that's why we kind of want to provide this kind of like a cheap sunglasses for everybody. It's affordable, and a lot of college students want some accessories. That's why we came up with the idea to want to sell them together.
Our sales deals where we had 1 for $3, 2 for $5, or 3 for $6. And we have about $97 worth of profit. We're going to donate to Lowell Cancer Team Walk or whatever program there. And yeah, our exit strategy is to close out shop, close out all our Shopify, close all our social media accounts, and just close the company.
Do you know that 5% of the population in America suffer from some type of foot fungus? And 19% of the US population suffers an average of 1.4 foot problems yearly.
Our special formulation provides deep hydration while proactively preventing the start of an infection. Wet feet and having to sit in class for so many hours is a breeding ground for infection. So the tea tree oil in our product helps to prevent that from starting.
And I'm Nelson. This is Shanita, Manisa, and Cindy. And our product is called Heal Me Softly, and it is a proactive foot cream containing argan oil and tea tree oil.
We made about $640 in total product sales, and $366 of that will be going towards Duville Senior Care.
We got the idea just from seeing the lack of representation of buildings and landmarks in these local areas such as Boston and Lowell. The class really helped us because we got to learn the specific concepts, how to make our ideas successful.
The class also kind of showed us the steps and procedures that we would have needed to take to be able to get the business going the right way, and also showed us a step-by-step process of things that we needed to get done for it to be a successful business.
Once we had t-shirts, it showed how successful the business would be with the Boston skyline on the t-shirts, and everybody had wanted one as soon as we had got the pictures of them, and we sold them all, like we said, with the pre-sales before we even got the t-shirts in our hand.
So today was the MCC Shark Tank Day, where students in the Intro to Entrepreneurship course were able to come and give their pitches for their businesses and show their commercials, and they competed in a competition where they actually spent 4 weeks selling their products or services, and over the course of that 4 weeks they learned sort of what was working well, what wasn't. They were able to overcome some obstacles and challenges they faced. And so in some cases, they may consider actually giving this concept of the business to the nonprofit organization. So that could be an option. And in the end, they made significant sales and then were able to take the net profit. So after their sales, they take out the expenses they incurred and then their net profit that they actually donate to a nonprofit organization in the area.
So we decided the winner today is Label. Woo! Watching all the presentations, watching you guys all grow throughout the semester between the last time we were here, and what you were able to do sales and profit-wise. That was how we mostly made our decision. Your presentation was coherent. We clearly were able to market and sell a product that was actually able to make money.
Yeah, I mean, all the presentations really came a long way since when we were last here, but yours definitely was, you guys, we felt, presented it really well, and yeah, and the profits and the ability to sell in such a short amount of time and to generate so much money in that time period really spoke volumes to us.
I mean, we worked hard. I mean, as a team, we put a lot of time in. I thought we did a lot of extras, from setting up the business, from a marketing standpoint, from a team development. I thought we actually put a lot of work into it. We did a lot of selling. We were out pounding the pavement our goal was to be the biggest seller so we could give the biggest check to the disabled veterans.
And can I just want to say one more thing. Going with what Tom's saying, our goal at first was selfishly to just be number one, for the sake of being number one. But as we got together and as we kind of united with that one vision to raise money for disabled veterans, we just wanted to give the most money to them, not for the sake of winning a prize, which is great, we are thankful, but the biggest joy I get is that we raised more than $535 for people that allow us to have freedom and are not getting the love that they deserve. And that to me is the greatest joy I have from this experience.